Hi, I'm David Miners. Government is considering introducing an innovative and exciting program to Bermuda that will benefit the island's young people. It's called Job Corps, and it is a technical training and education program that helps young people learn a career, earn a high school diploma or GED, and find and keep good jobs.
We have an opportunity to talk and to discuss some of the aspects of the U.S. Job Corps program. We are fortunate to have had for a 2-day intensive briefing session both our lobbyist from Washington, Ms. Darlene Richardson, who not only helps us to make connections on the Hill, but also on areas which have strategic benefit for Bermuda. On this occasion, she was accompanied by Ms. Odell, who has a woman of considerable experience and who has a number of Department of Labor contracts from the U.S. government. But she also operates a couple of Job Corps centers, one in Long Island, California, and one in Kentucky.
Well, the Job Corps program has actually been consistently performing quite well in serving what we call our underserved youth, the students that are between the ages of 16 to 24 that are dropouts from high school or could be high school graduates but would be seeking further education. It started in 1965 and has been had received bipartisan support both from the Republicans and the Democrats. So they knew at this point that the United States government actually had supported it because it is the only program in the United States that would serve over 60,000 youth in providing them with academic training, vocational training. Now it's what we call career technical training, which has supported 4 industry clusters in the United States. And the main goal is placing our students into meaningful careers. Job attachment is one that is the focus of the program prior to separation from the program. And that has provided career attachment and job placement in businesses, in high growth occupations, in schools for further education, and also for military careers in the armed forces.
We had a particular interest in the Job Corps program, and it goes back, it's not something that just happened. It goes back to the Mincey Report. Our consultant, the Professor Mincey, who was working with the Cabinet Office consultant, Mr. Commission, we had quite a lot of time devoted to the Mincey Report and the challenges, in particular, of young black males.
Well, the Mincey study was commissioned in 2007 by the government, and the aim of the study was to be a comparative one, which will take a look at young black males in the context with their same age peers, that being primarily white males and black females. And it was to focus on education, employment, and earnings. The study was completed in late 2009, and in early 2010, we had the unveiling of the final report to the Bermudian public. What was fascinating about the study, there were a number of findings, but one of the key findings in relation to the Job Corps piece, which was one of the recommendations, was that for preceding years, we had an issue in Bermuda where approximately half of our young males in public high school, overwhelmingly black, did not finish with their peers in terms of their education. So they would enter in S1, but they would be gone by S4. And it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, as Professor Mincey and his team did, that once these individuals had left the system, there was really no institution or program that had ownership of them. So they went right off the radar screen. And our supposition is that many of them then, lacking the requisite skills to be able to thrive and survive in this increasingly complex 21st century knowledge-based economy and service economy that Bermuda has developed, were struggling. And we may have found that many had ventured into more illicit activity, the black market, the drug trade, and the like. And so that became a very significant problem that was identified. And the report then went on to offer a recommendation on how the government can play its part in beginning to address that. The Job Corps recommendation came out of that. And I look at the Job Corps recommendation as one that's also about workforce development. You know, we may have fallen short in terms of that in not being able to prepare enough of our people to take advantage of this economy, very dynamic economy that we have, despite the present day downturn that we are experiencing. Obviously, the government has recognized that something must be done, and that's how we begin this process now of beginning the implementation of the Mincey Report. And I think many people are very happy about that because we've had a history in Bermuda, as you know, going back for probably a couple of decades. Reports come and reports go. And not much has been done to address the underlying concerns which have been identified by these respective reports. At least I was determined that that would not be the case with the Mincey Report, and I'm happy to report that the government feels the same way.
Job Corps has some specifications and aspects of it that resonate with us. It can't just be something that is imported to Bermuda wholesale, but what we have spent some time over the last couple of days looking at is looking at how it operates in the U.S. and how we can look at tailoring it to have relevance to Bermuda. We involved a number of relevant ministries, and we had the Minister for Education, Dame Minister Jennifer Smith. We also had the Minister for Economy, Trade and Industry, Minister Wilson, and we also had the Minister without Portfolio, Minister Michael Weeks. We spent some time talking and being walked through how the Job Corps program operates in the U.S., predominantly for children, young people between the ages of about 16 to 24 who are considered to be vulnerable and at risk. We looked at the issue of how we help them both on the education aspect, but equally and more importantly also with regard to a career track. And the career track can be both vocational and academic. And what is really the core theme is about providing hope, but it is also about strategic partnerships, partnering with our business community, partnering with educational institutions, and it doesn't have to be limited to just educational institutions in Bermuda. So it has synergy, there's a sense of excitement, but right now we are looking really at how we can take core elements and onionize it so it's relevant for Bermuda. Also, we're looking at widening the remit so it is not just for males, young males, but also for females, because what we're really seeking to do is address how we can provide greater opportunities for our young people. We can talk and deal with enforcement aspects when you have children or young people who have gone off the rails and have fallen through the cracks in terms of our criminal and justice system. But we also have to be very much involved in the inputs so that we avoid them getting to that stage. And that's where we see the Job Corps program can provide some, I suppose, some assistance and also some further structure to what we're doing already to help augment the skills of our young people and also to give them a sense of hope and also so that we have some practical, realistic outputs.
Darlene Richardson, Bermuda's representative in Washington, D.C., is working with Ms. Lisa Odell to find ways to bring the Job Corps concept to Bermuda.
I represent the government of Bermuda in Washington, D.C. I do lobbying on Capitol Hill, but I also am instrumental in bringing resources to Bermuda when necessary. The Premier announced the Job Corps program as something that she wanted to review as a result of the Mincey Report, the recommendations of the Mincey Report. I was asked to assist in finding resources to help bring that about. And so I enlisted the support of Ms. Lisa Odell of Odell Management Group, who has been a long-term contractor with the Job Corps program and Department of Labor in the United States.
The Job Corps program in the United States is an open entry, open exit. So it is a volunteer program, but it captures a lot of our students that are considered needed, they're high risk and they're underserved. They come in and actually we provide necessary tools for occupational interest testing. We also provide them with tests of adult basic education. So we monitor specifically what educational components they will need to go into an entry-level academic program. They could be reading at the 4th grade level or 6th grade level, and we will be able to monitor that and know exactly what academic classes they would have to take to complete their secondary education. In addition to that, or concurrent to that, as I should say, they're also given the occupational interest motivational testing, which will provide them with knowledge of the interest of what vocational training or career path they will have to take. Then the choice of what occupational cluster they will get into, it would be given to them, and that becomes part of their career pathways. In the Bermuda replication program will be dependent on the occupations that will be available here, and that is going to be part of the program or the preliminary work plan. Once a student actually completes the program, they would go and enter into a career transition readiness phase, which is now more focused on career skills, resume development, more training as far as interviewing, and this is where the business partners will actually come in as well and will assist in the mock interviews and also in work-based learning, what we call internship programs for some sites, some employer sites that will provide the necessary hands-on or job training work environment for our young people. 16 to 24 was identified as the underserved population when it was commenced in 1965, primarily because majority of the students on that age group are the dropouts that we have. So that's in their age group. Secondly, when it was initiated then, majority of the students that were actually, considered were children of families that are a tremendous number of students that are in that age group that are actually suffering from that are in the poverty level in the United States, in varied states, particularly in the South and also in the central, mid-central states. So those are the ones that were considered as targeted group. I think the primary requirement was that they are either in the high school level, which the high school age group is between 16 to 19. So the 24, when we added the age of 19 to 24, that still provided some hope for students that would like to pursue a further education, community college or 2-year bachelor's degree, which still would be in that applicable age group. So now the Mincey Report obviously talked about students between ages 18 to 30. And again, in the replication plan, that could be revised.